Change how you see pain, fate, and life. 5 Stoic lessons that transform everything. Stoic Bloom. What if the worst thing that ever happened to you wasn't a curse, but a curriculum? The Stoics believe that suffering isn't random. It's structured. It exists not to destroy you, but to refine you, if you're willing to look deeper. What if fate doesn't punish you, but prepares you? Not with softness, but with storms. Not with comfort, but with challenge. And through it all, it whispers, this too is shaping you. In this video, you'll learn 5 Stoic principles that will forever change how you interpret pain, difficulty, and life itself. Not by escaping hardship, but by stepping into it with better questions and clearer eyes. Let's begin with one of the Stoics' most powerful ideas, Amor Fati. Part 1, Amor Fati. Love your fate. Most people tolerate fate. The Stoics went further. They loved it. Amor Fati means love of fate, not passive acceptance, not quiet endurance, but radical embrace. Marcus Aurelius said, a blazing fire makes brightness out of all that is thrown into it. This isn't poetic optimism, it's practical transformation. When life throws pain, loss, betrayal, failure, you don't recoil. You absorb, you burn it down into fuel. Amor Fati is what turns misfortune into mastery. Instead of saying, why me, you ask, what now? Instead of resisting life, you move with it. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Think about it. The breakup, the job loss, the setback. What if they weren't detours, but exact ingredients your evolution needed? The Stoic doesn't just accept the fire, he becomes it. Not consumed, but transformed. Not bitter, but brighter. If you've ever cursed the timing of your life, maybe it's time to look again, with different eyes. Share this video with someone still stuck in why me mode. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom if you're learning to stop resisting and start reframing. And drop a comment below. What's one hard thing you now see as necessary? Stoic Bloom, love your fate, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. Part 2, control what you can, accept what you can't. Peace doesn't come from having control. It comes from knowing what you do and don't control. This is one of the core pillars of Stoicism. Some things are up to us. Some things are not. Your thoughts, up to you. Your effort, up to you. The weather, the pain, the actions of others, not yours to hold. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. The freedom that comes from control over your own mind. But here's the catch. Most people obsess over what they can't control and ignore what they can. We replay conversations we can't rewrite. We stress over outcomes we can't dictate. We try to manage people instead of managing our own perception. The Stoic flips that. He accepts the rain, but sharpens his attitude. He doesn't try to stop the storm. He builds shelter inside. Think of your energy like currency. Every time you spend it trying to control the uncontrollable, you lose it. But when you invest it in your mindset, your choices, your perspective, you compound peace. So the next time life feels chaotic, ask, is this mine to hold or mine to release? Stoic Bloom. Peace begins the moment you stop negotiating with what isn't yours. Part 3, nothing is random, it all connects. Some things won't make sense until they're behind you. The Stoics believe that life isn't chaos, it's complexity. And complexity only looks random when you're standing too close to it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. That means your pain, your detours, your delays, they're not off track. They're on schedule, in a plan you can't yet see. Steve Jobs echoed this idea centuries later. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. It's a Stoic truth in modern clothes. Think about the heartbreak that made you stronger, the rejection that pushed you to a better path, the mistake that became your deepest teacher. You don't need to understand life while it's unfolding. You only need to stay awake enough to notice what it's revealing. Stoic doesn't ask for perfect timing. He trusts that meaning will unfold in hindsight, and until then, he walks forward with his eyes open. If you've ever looked back at something painful and thought, that needed to happen, this lesson is already living in you. Send this to a friend still cursing their last detour. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom if you're done calling setbacks mistakes and ready to see them as messages. And drop a comment. What's one wrong turn that eventually led you exactly where you needed to be? Stoic Bloom. Life isn't random, it's revealing. Part 4. Turn pain into power. Pain is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. To the Stoics, pain wasn't something to avoid. It was something to listen to, something to learn from, something that had the power to shape the soul, like fire forges iron. Seneca wrote, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor strengthens the body." Just as muscles grow through resistance, your resilience grows through discomfort. But only if you allow pain to teach, not just touch. Most people either suppress pain or drown in it. The Stoic does neither. He studies it. He asks, what is this pain trying to show me? What part of me needs to be rebuilt, not just repaired? How can I walk forward stronger, not just scarred? That's how pain becomes power, not through denial, but through digestion. The breakup teaches patience. The failure teaches humility. The grief teaches gratitude. You stop asking pain to leave, and instead, you invite it to teach. Because once you extract the lesson, the suffering has done its job. Stoic Bloom. Pain doesn't destroy, it designs. Part 5. Apply Stoicism in everyday life. It's one thing to admire Stoic wisdom. It's another to practice it. When life isn't poetic, but messy. The Stoics didn't write for applause. They wrote to survive chaos with clarity. Their philosophy wasn't made for temples. It was made for traffic jams, betrayal, deadlines, heartbreak, and loss. So how do you apply Stoicism when the world isn't listening? 1. Pause before reacting. When something triggers you, don't strike. Don't spiral. Step back. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." 2. Find the lesson, not the villain. Ask not who caused this, but what can I learn here? 3. Loosen your grip on results. Do the work, show up fully, then let go of needing to control how it all unfolds. 4. Trust the process, not the timeline. Epictetus reminded us, don't seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do. That's not passivity, it's maturity. 5. Say yes to fate. Amor Fati. Not just to the good days, but the hard ones too, because they grow you. If this philosophy feels like the one tool you wish you'd had 10 years ago, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who's tired of reacting and ready to start responding. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom for weekly wisdom that meets you exactly where you are. Drop a comment. Which of these 5 practices are you starting today and why? Stoic Bloom. Stoicism isn't theory, it's daily practice done quietly. Part 6. Final pain is not your punishment, it's your preparation. Everything that has happened in your life, every wasal, delay, failure, silence, was never random. It was redirection, refinement, realignment. The Stoics didn't ask for easy lives. They asked for clear minds. And with that clarity, they transformed every hardship into a stepping stone. You are no different. When you choose to see your pain as a teacher, when you respond to fate with Amor Fati, when you act with intention and release the outcome, then you are no longer a victim of life. You are its collaborator. Enduring Stoic message, every hardship carries a hidden lesson. Every obstacle contains the seed of transformation. And every twist of fate, when received with conscious acceptance, becomes the road back to your truest self. Stoicism doesn't teach you to avoid pain. It teaches you to alchemize it, to look deeper, respond wiser, and see clearly that you are not here to control life. You are here to see it with new eyes. Nothing around you changes, but when you change how you see, it changes everything. If today's video gave you a new lens, don't let it fade with the scroll. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom for weekly wisdom grounded in clarity and courage. Share this with someone who's been asking, "Why me?" for far too long. Like this video if you've ever suffered quietly and grown silently, and comment below, what part of your pain are you now seeing as your preparation? Change how you see pain, change how you live. Subscribe to Stoic Bloom.